Hey, guys, welcome to another video. In this video we share a few tips on where to look for loot on the Erangel map, other than the popular places like Pachinki, the military base, Yusnaya, and Milta. If you're playing a solo game on PUBG Mobile, you can drop almost anywhere on the Erangel map. But if you're playing duos or in a 4-person squad, you don't want to have to force your squad to fight with marginal weapons because you dropped at a sparse spot near Gatka. If you're a beginner to PUBG Mobile, avoid hot drops in popular areas. You should steer clear of the action and avoid firefights until you're properly geared up and have found your favorite weapons. Advanced players don't worry about where they'll start the game because they're good enough to fight with a frying pan if necessary. At some point, you'll have to hot drop at Pachinki, fight house to house, defend it, rotate through it, or attack it. Pachinki is in the middle of the map, so even if you don't parachute in to start the game, it's still a major crossroad for other players. The surrounding areas and suburbs are the key to surviving Pachinki. You can always drop at the farmhouses north-south of town, or at the buildings on the western edge of town. The 3-story buildings and the church are perfect places to set up a sniper position, so be careful no one has been patiently waiting for you to step into their kill zone. A garage located off the main street in Pachinki almost always has a vehicle spawn location. If by chance there's nothing there, check on the outskirts of town by the church. The school might be the second most popular spot to land aside from the military base. The apartment buildings adjacent to the school are a better spot to land, especially if you can parachute onto one of the roofs. There's also a small town located just to the southwest of the school and the apartments that can provide a safer spot to land in. Erangel has no shortage of bountiful loot locations, and you'll love looting in large apartment buildings before heading toward the largest city on the map, Yusnaya Poliana. It's a cool spot to set up a sniper's nest if you have the patience and the large scope, 6x8x. Even if there are a lot of other teams dropping at Yusnaya, there's enough cover for you to loot without worrying about getting sniped from above. Medium risk. Jorgapal, Rozhok. The key to a successful Rozhok drop will be setting traps for visitors. While Rozhok might be your primary location, it will often become a secondary or tertiary spot for opponents who dropped at the school area to the south. Rozhok can be accessed via smaller bridges to the north and west of town. After you gear up at Rozhok, you can camp out on those bridges to pick off anyone rotating to Rozhok. There's a large hill to the south of Rozhok that must be secured to prevent sniper attacks. If you can find a dank scope and a sniper rifle, head up to the hill to snipe opponents exiting the school area. The shipping crates at Jorgapal are an instant danger zone. If you're going to loot the shipping crates, you must make it quick because you're a huge target. Many pros drop at North Jorgapal instead. A lack of vehicles is a downside to North George, but if you're inside the first circle, you'll have ample room to loot, while all of the noobs knock themselves out scrounging for scopes at the South George crates. Low risk. Primorsk, Stalber, Watertown. If you're seeking tips for places to loot off the beaten path on the Erangel map, I recommend Watertown, Primorsk, and Stalber Mountain. Watertown, or Sunken City, can be found just to the northeast of the ruins or due west of Rozhok. When I first started playing PUBG Mobile, I often dropped in Watertown and eventually made my way to Rozhok, or vice versa. It's not a popular spot compared to the school nearby. Primorsk has lots of loot, but the downside is that the area doesn't have many guaranteed vehicle spawns. You'll have to land and loot quickly, but be ready to rotate out of the southwest corner. The hospital can get hot at times, depending on the flight path, but it's often bypassed for the shipping crates in South Jorgapal instead. Stalber, the highest point in Erangel, will often be a ghost town. If you prefer to loot in peace and then ease into your games, then head to the mountains of Erangel. The shooting range has a secret bunker, and you might sprint through the plane wreck area while rotating toward Jorgapal. Overrated. Military base, Gatka, prison. We also have loot tips on PUBG's most overrated places on the Erangel map, including the military base, prison, and Gatka. If you don't like crowds, then Gatka might be the place to land. But it's not that great for squads and it's hard to find vehicles. The prison seems like a cool spot to drop when you first join PUBG. However, you quickly realize that you're a sitting duck for anyone that seizes the high ground surrounding the prison on 3 sides. The prison is a sweet spot to set a trap against noobs. If you like suicide missions and want to land in the middle of a firefight, then the Sosnovka military base located on Sosnovka Island is for you. The biggest problem I encounter with the military base has always been the blue circle. If by chance you survive the onslaught of opponents and find enough loot, then you have to rush to leave the island before the blue circle arrives. There are only 2 bridges that connect Sosnovka Military Island from mainland Erangel, otherwise, you have to swim or find a boat. If you're advancing via one of the 2 bridges, you must keep an eye out for bridge campers and other players waiting to ambush your squad. Dropping at the military base creates a more difficult mission for you. Between instant firefights, rushing to get off the island, and bridge campers, you're putting yourself in multiple high-risk situations to start the game. Players are challenged with the randomization of the initial flight plan and starting-ending circles. But if you can become familiar with 3 or 4 favorite drop zones, you'll never encounter a bad starting point. It's important to land as quickly as possible and gear up as fast as you can before entering a firefight. Your first rotation often sets you up for the remainder of the game. It's not only important to determine your favorite drop spots, but it's as vital to determine multiple escape routes and shortcuts to different parts of the map, whether you're on foot or have found a vehicle. My personal favorite loot spots are Pochinki or Yasnaya. It seems like you're within striking distance of the 2 biggest cities on Erangel. If there's a southern flight path, I'll opt for smaller towns like Primorsk or Milta. And if I'm forced to pick a spot on Military Island, then it's over to the shipping containers at Novorepnoye. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Hope you learned something new today. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more. And comment below what video should I make next. Peace out.